We're diving into some pretty interesting stuff. UFOs, government secrets, and maybe even a little presidential intrigue. It feels like everyone's talking about UFOs these days. Even, politicians and military officials are getting in on the action.
Yeah, it's true. The conversation has definitely shifted. It's not just considered a fringe topic anymore.
Right. And there was this fascinating conversation between Joe Rogan and filmmaker James Fox that you wanted to unpack today.
Yeah.
They talk about a clip from a Donald Trump rally where he hints that the government knows more about UFOs than they're letting on. That's where we'll start today. What do you make of all this?
Well, that clip is definitely intriguing, but before we jump into that, let's talk about James Fox and why he's such a credible voice in this field. He's spent over 30 years investigating close encounters all over the world. He's not just speculating, he's talking to witnesses, examining alleged crash sites, and digging deep into the evidence.
So it's more than just reading some old reports. He's out there in the field.
Yeah.
Doing the real investigative work. In the Rogan interview, Fox brings up Project Blue Book, which was, the Air Force's official investigation into UFOs. It's kind of wild to think that the iconic film Close Encounters of the Third Kind was heavily inspired by actual Project Blue Book files.
Yeah, that connection between the film and real government investigations is fascinating. I think it shows how deeply the idea of UFOs is ingrained in our culture, even on a subconscious level. And, it's not just science fiction. The government took this seriously enough to launch official investigations. And those investigations, in turn, inspired major Hollywood productions.
Yeah, it's interesting. Speaking of those investigations, Fox has this documentary called Moment of Contact that explores the alleged 1996 UFO crash in Virginia, Brazil.
Right. And I think what makes Virginia stand out is the sheer number of eyewitnesses. It wasn't just a few people. We're talking about the town's mayor, police officers, and everyday citizens, all claiming to have seen something truly bizarre. And it's not just, random people who find this case compelling. Lou Elizondo, who you might remember headed the Pentagon's UFO program, was apparently very interested in this film.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Having someone like Elizondo take an interest suggests that this case is taken seriously, even within intelligence circles. It makes you wonder what information the government might be holding back, even from those who are tasked with investigating these phenomena.
Yeah, it definitely raises questions about what they know and why they might be reluctant to share it.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you brought up the Trump rally clip, because that's another instance where the potential for government knowledge, or at least awareness of UFOs, is hinted at.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Trump was talking about drones flying over sensitive areas and made that comment about the government knowing what's happening but not wanting to tell people. It was a bit cryptic, but it definitely got people's attention.
It's especially significant considering he was president-elect at the time. It makes you wonder, if even a president-elect isn't fully in the loop on this issue, who is? Who has access to this information? And why are they keeping it so tightly guarded?
In the Rogan interview, they discussed this.
Yeah.
Rogan seems to think Trump is too pragmatic to worry about aliens.
Right.
Fox, on the other hand, thinks Trump might genuinely be in the dark, just like the rest of us.
It's almost like there are layers of secrecy within the government, different levels of access and awareness.
And if that's the case, how can we as citizens even begin to get to the bottom of this?
Well, that's where Fox's call to action comes in. He's launched this massive grassroots campaign for government transparency, and he's using Reddit to organize it. It's pretty remarkable. He's managed to bring together all sorts of different Reddit communities, each with their own unique focus, to unite under this common cause.
It's like a modern-day town hall meeting, but on a global scale. What's even more interesting is that some of the government insiders featured in Fox's documentary are actually participating in this Reddit event. Makes you wonder what kind of information they might be willing to share.
The potential for real insider knowledge to be revealed is definitely there. The more people who get involved and demand transparency, the harder it'll be for the government to ignore, like a digital version of a protest march, but with potentially even greater reach and impact.
It's not just about demanding answers. It's also about fostering a sense of community and shared purpose. It gives people a platform to share their own experiences, connect with others who are interested in this topic, and feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves.
It's empowering in a way. You're absolutely right. It's about taking ownership of the narrative and demanding accountability from those in power. And that's where you, our listener, come in. This isn't just something happening out there. It's something you can be a part of.
Exactly. We'll make sure to include all the relevant links to this Reddit event in the show notes so you can check it out and see how you can get involved. Maybe you have your own questions about UFOs, or maybe you just want to learn more. from those who have been investigating this phenomenon for years, whatever your level of interest, there's a place for you in this conversation.
It's about saying we deserve to know the truth, no matter how unsettling it might be. And the truth, whatever it may be, has the potential to change everything. It could revolutionize our understanding of science, technology, our history, maybe even our place in the universe.
Those are some pretty big implications. It makes you wonder, if the government really is holding back information, what are their reasons? Are they trying to protect us from something?
Yeah.
Or are they just trying to protect themselves?
That brings us back to the Jaws analogy that Fox uses in the Rogan interview. Remember how the mayor in Jaws downplays the threat of the shark to protect the town's tourism industry? Even though people are being attacked, Fox argues that the government might be doing something similar with UFOs.
So it's like they're prioritizing a certain narrative over the truth. They're so worried about maintaining control and preventing panic that they're willing to keep us in the dark, even if it means putting us at risk.
It's a chilling thought, isn't it? And it
And potential disinformation.
Well, as cliche as it sounds, I think it starts with education and critical thinking. We need to be discerning consumers of information, especially in this age where anyone can post anything online and claim it as fact.
So it's not just about blindly accepting everything we read or hear. We need to actually engage with the material, question our sources, consider different perspectives.
Exactly. And don't just take things at face value. Look for evidence. Consider the source's biases. And be wary of sensationalized headlines or claims that seem too good to be true. There are credible researchers, journalists, and organizations dedicated to investigating this phenomenon responsibly.
People like James Fox, who we've been discussing, he's not just out there chasing sensational stories. He's committed to rigorous research and evidence-based investigation.
Right. And it's not just about being critical. It's also about being open-minded. We need to be willing to consider possibilities that challenge our existing beliefs, even if those possibilities seem strange or unsettling.
It's about acknowledging that we don't have all the answers, and that the universe is a vast and mysterious place.
Exactly. And that's part of what makes this whole topic so fascinating. It's a mystery that forces us to confront the limits of our knowledge and to grapple with questions that have profound implications for our understanding of ourselves and our place in the cosmos.
This entire deep dive has been a wild journey. We've gone from government secrecy to Hollywood films, from alleged crash sites to grassroots campaigns for transparency. It's clear that UFOs are no longer just a fringe topic. They've entered the mainstream consciousness, and the conversation is only going to get louder from here.
And that's a good thing. The more we talk about it, the more pressure we put on those in power to be transparent and accountable. But transparency is just the first step. We need to be prepared for what those answers might reveal.
Because the truth, whatever may be, is bound to be extraordinary. It could fundamentally challenge everything we thought we knew about the universe and our place within it.
It's a humbling thought, but also an incredibly exciting one. We are on the verge of a new era of discovery, and the possibilities are truly limitless.
You've seen the evidence, considered the arguments, and heard the perspectives. Now it's time to ask yourself, what do you believe?
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, stay curious. The truth is out there, waiting to be discovered.